aside from the live coaching calls and the cold calling, what else would you recommend that I do on a weekly basis?
So your day is going to look like the following. Every single day from minimum 9 o'clock, it couldn't be earlier, but I would say at an absolute latest, you start prospecting at 9 o'clock. And
Okay.
literally from 9 o'clock till 1 p.m. every day, be on the phones prospecting for new leads.
Okay.
How many contacts are in your phone?
280.
Great. You have 280 more leads in your book. Now, like you can contact every single one of those people. And obviously, like maybe 20 or 30% of them are going to be people younger than you. So they probably don't know who the hell that they could possibly refer you. But I'd
Yeah.
imagine there's a large percentage of them, maybe 30 or 40% that are probably older than you that you can
Mhm.
call and cycle through, right? You can put them on a
Okay.
spreadsheet and you're going to call those people. And you're going to use the simple script, which is literally just like, hey, John, it's Steven. Wanted to give you, like, you might have never spoken, you might have not spoken to this person in years, right?
Mhm.
Like, hey, I know it's been some time. Just wanted to, I was going through my Facebook friends and my contacts. And I know that we haven't, I haven't spoken to you in a while. And I was thinking about you the other day, and I figured I'd give you a call to see how you and the family are doing. You're literally going to
Mhm.
spend the entirety of the phone call catching up and getting to know what's going on in their lives.
Okay.
Okay. And then at the very end, or whenever the time arises, when you say something along the lines of like, because anytime you ask them a question of like, hey, what are you up to? What's new? What are you doing
Mhm.
for work? All that kind of stuff. They're going to probably repeat the question back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to say, hey, what's new with you? Well, look, I'm in real estate. Things have been fantastic. I'm working to be one of the top realtors in my area. I
Mhm.
specialize in commercial real estate, or I specialize in residential real estate, whatever you want to say, but don't
Yeah.
confuse them. You want to ask for one thing. I'm looking to be a top realtor in the area. So, again, if you come across anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate or invest in whatever you want, whatever the specifics are, you're going to
Mhm.
just ask for it when they ask you, not telling them, only when they ask. And obviously, if they don't
Okay.
ask, then you obviously did not ask many questions about them.
Makes
So
sense.
that's with their sphere of influence. And then you're going to try to get try to get within the next 24 to 48 hours, as fast as you can, try to get access to a CoStar list of exporting
Okay.
leads from CoStar. That's going to be really, really important to start off. This is not a recruitment thing, but I am saying that given where you are currently, it might be better off that you're with a team. So if you know a team that maybe is more focused on the commercial side, which I can make an introduction for you if you'd like, if you're open to it.
Definitely be open to it.
Yeah, that also might be helpful. Lastly, for the rest of your day, right? So that's from nine to one ish every day.
Mhm.
You're literally just going to prospect, be on the phone, find a way to call somebody. Like if you're like, I don't know who the fuck to call, go on Instagram and start DMing people. Go on Facebook and start messaging people. Fucking call everyone you possibly can get your
Mhm.
hands on data wise. Every day, 3 to 4 hours a day, every day. Following hour while you're eating, follow like because you got to feed yourself. While you're doing that, follow up with your leads that you've generated in the past. You probably don't have a lot of those, but it will grow over time. And the point is you
Mhm.
maybe need 30 minutes of dedicated work right now to do that. However,
Yeah.
over time, you will need more. So a minimum of 30 hours of 30 minutes every day on follow up, and that will slowly grow as you generate more leads and more people you're going to have to follow up with, right?
Mhm.
The entirety of the rest of your day, you should be on appointments for residential, obviously. In the
Mhm.
commercial world, you should just be back on the phones and trying to generate more leads. Period. End of story. Like your entirety of your life for the next 90 days straight, no matter what, should literally be on the phone 12 hours a day because you don't have any leads. You have a major lead problem. It's like your car has no gas. And the only way to get gas in this world is to call, get it filled your tank with leads. And once you're in a place where you have a lot of leads and you're in a comfortable position of making the calls and everything like that, then you can start doing the other things, which is in the commercial world, you generate a lead, you learn how to underwrite the property, which we will work through as you generate opportunities on the trainings. Once you've underwritten the deal and you understand around the value, then we would make an offer on the property to buy, like you hopefully will pitch the deal to a buyer who can
Mhm.
make an offer on the property. And I could be your buyer, right? I buy a lot of commercial properties in New Jersey. If you came across, like one of my sales guys came across any type of property you could possibly imagine, today we
Mhm.
reviewed like 40 properties that my team generated, right? 40 leads that they generated today. I made an
Mhm.
offer on all 40 properties. So it's like every day I'm writing up between 10, 20, 30, 40 offers a day. So it's like we're generating, 10, 20, 30, 40 leads a day. I write an offer
Yeah.
on every single lead every single day. The goal for you is to generate leads so that you can eventually get a buyer to make an offer on that property. And what's important to note is that in the commercial world, there's going to be a lot of properties, just like in the residential world, that are going to be overpriced where the seller is not
Mhm.
actually that motivated to sell it. We facilitate transactions when they occur. We do not force or create transactions out of nothing. If a seller doesn't want to sell and a buyer doesn't want to buy, you don't have a deal. But if a seller is open to buying and a buyer is open, if a seller is open to selling and a buyer is open to buying, you possibly can get a transaction. It's different if a seller needs to sell and a buyer needs to buy. So just keep that in mind. Like, hey, like, is this a need or a want, right? Or maybe a don't want.
Mhm.
Right? And you just have to work through that. So just keep in mind that, like, we can't change their mind on that. Okay.
Makes
What other
sense.
questions
Okay.
can I answer for you?
Do you have any books that you'd recommend for the commercial real estate just to get familiar with the language being used?
I would read a lot of the questions that are in my script book.
Okay.
I literally give you all the questions to ask in the script
Mhm.
book. And then in my YouTube content, you just got to search through it.
Okay.
You can see a lot of those types of videos. But then in regards to other books, I mean, maybe anything by Ken McElroy. He's a good, I mean, I love his content online too. Obviously, if you're going to call multifamily, Grant Cardone's a good guy. He's got a real estate.
Mhm.
I'd probably do like a lot of YouTube content. I haven't found a book that really just goes through that specifically that I've read. At least I'm not going to lie to you about a book I've never read.
Okay.
But I like Ken a lot. I like Grant, obviously. They're both very intelligent. And Robert Kiyosaki, any one of his books around real estate.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. One other question for Reonomy. Can you use that only for commercial buildings or does it work for residential as well?
Only commercial.
Okay.
It doesn't have really any residential data at all.
Do you have anything you'd recommend for residential data?
Residential data, Mojo, like the dialer that I told you.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
has all the phone numbers you can possibly imagine.
Another question. Do you think it matters what brokerage you're at for when you're doing commercial?
I think it matters what team you're on.
Okay.
I think that if you're going to be with a brokerage with no team, all by yourself, no data, no systems, no processes, it can
Mhm.
be incredibly more difficult for the first year or two
Yeah.
than joining a team or a brokerage that specializes in it, right?
Mhm.
That can
Yeah.
give you all the tools for free, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
especially for the first like year or two or three of your commercial career per se, right? I definitely think being a part of a team or a brokerage that specializes in it will be very supportive.